Tell me a bit about your yachting story. How did it begin?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. So it started out, I went to university in Florida and I was working in a restaurant and I graduated and didn't know what I wanted to do next. But when I was working in a restaurant, I met a lot of yachties, a yacht crew, and I was just inspired on what they do. And I saw them and I started to learn more about it. So I decided to start working as crew for a few years, save up some money, and then go find a real job after that. And then it transitioned into going land-based and in sales with Burgess, which I've been for 5 years. So yeah, and then here we are now.
How did you find your way to the Burgess door? What was it? Was there any connection or?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to work for the same captain for 5 years as crew. So every time he got a new boat, he'd bring me on the next boat and with a handful of crew as well. And so he was familiar with Burgess and I always expressed my interest in going land-based in the business side of things. So he would help me get my foot in the door, meet with people, talk to people. And so it took a while just to get in this side of things. But it was a pretty natural progression, which was nice.
Yeah, so I'm interested to know, what did you know about Burgess whilst you were working on yachts?
Well, when you're working on yachts, really the only perception you have about brokerage houses is the ones that you specifically work with. So you hear these big names and you hear them associated with these big boats. Personally, none of the boats I worked on were managed or sold by Burgess at that time. So I knew that they were a big boat company over in London. I knew they had a big European presence. But I didn't have a good image. I didn't really know what to expect with Burgess. So going into it, I was kind of went in blind as crew.
Right. But it was the captain that kind of pushed you toward.
Yeah. So he always had really good things to say about the contacts at Burgess he had and the overall perception he had. And that was the big thing that drove me, because my goal was to get in with the best company, start at the bottom and work my way up. And so I felt pretty confident. I obviously trusted his judgment and his perception. So I felt pretty confident taking that leap towards Burgess. But at the time when I was looking, there was a bunch of options. So I didn't know exactly where to go.
But you're happy you made the decision you did.
Yeah, absolutely. And my first experience with Burgess, which really changed that perception, was while I was working as crew, somebody told me that I should volunteer for a boat show, which isn't common for people. Usually you just apply to a job, you do a few interviews. And so I was like, yeah, I'll volunteer for a boat show. And that'll be me seeing if I like this industry. I mean, you really don't know what to expect. And so I spent the Palm Beach boat show with the Burgess team on the boats at the stand, went out with them. And that's when I really felt the connection was like, this is where I want to be. This is where I need to be.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you're there now. What's it like being a member of the Burgess team now?
It's great. It's nice to have pride in the company that you work for. You see longevity. You get a close relationship with all Burgess staff, whether they're a senior partner or a brand new assistant. It feels like we're all on the same level and we're all as a team. And the nice thing is a lot of us are quite close personally as well. So we hang out on the weekends, we go to each other's weddings and events, and it's like you're working with your friends and your family. So it just makes the big difference of feeling comfortable where you are and who you work with.
Is there any similarity between being a crew member on a yacht and then being one of the team at Burgess?
Yeah, absolutely. I think from a few different stances. I mean, you're always being a crew. Your answer is always yes to everything. No is not an answer. So it's good to have that instilled in Burgess as well, or in brokerage, or in the yachting industry in general, because you always have to be available for these people, and you have to find a way to make things happen, whether it's difficult or might seem impossible. But also like I said, working with Burgess and the staff, it does feel like a yacht crew. When you have a good yacht crew, the experience is amazing and it changes it. You trust people. It's a well-oiled machine. And it's nice because I feel like that with Burgess, and Burgess definitely has that feel, even though it's off of boats. So it still gives you that same yacht crew feeling, but obviously you have more freedom in life with not traveling around on a little spaces 24/7.
Tell me a bit about the sort of yachting community around here and the Caribbean.
The yachting community around here is it's definitely different than other places in the world, and I think that that's also important to be able to adjust to. I mean, you compare it to going to the Monaco show, or over in Europe, you have different clientele, different crew, different boats. So it is a much more local, more laid back feel when you come to this side and you have a lot of maybe American clients. So it's just, you just have to adjust to those people, but it is quite different, but it's fun.
So you started as crew, you found Burgess with a captain's help, and you've worked your way up through Burgess. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think it was important to work my way up because, like I said earlier, it's as a crew perspective, you really don't know what each department does, what each area does, or their expertise. So my approach was to start at the bottom as a brokerage assistant and just help wherever I can, just really grasp the concept of brokerage and how the company works in different departments, and hopefully get mentors along the way and learn from some of the more senior guys or senior people at Burgess. So I started as a brokerage assistant for 2 years. And then at Burgess, we have a role that's called a central agency listing manager. So I did that for 2 more years, which really gave me a good base on listing yachts and the marketing that goes into it and how the sales work and the contracts. So each level gave me a whole different perspective of brokerage. And then, so I did that for 2 years and then became a sales broker myself about 6 months ago. So the brokerage assistant was on the buy side, and then the listing manager was on the sell side. So you really got 2 good years of diving into each side of things, which I think really prepared me to become a sales broker myself.
Yeah, sounds very good. What's the best thing about being a Burgess sales broker?
Best thing about being sales broker Burgess, I think just the team. I mean, I always think this, and I'm young and I'm new to it, so sometimes you're nervous with things, but you truly have a full team of the most experienced brokers in the world a text away. I can call them and we really are. So it takes out the nervousness of, oh, I've never done this before. How do you do this? Because I know I can get an answer from the most experienced brokers in the world in 30 seconds. So just having that community, I think, is what sets us apart as well.
Excellent. That leaves me on, let's see. How do you and this team that you speak about, how do you go about finding the right yacht for a client?
I think it's really understanding what the client wants. I mean, listening to them. It sounds easy, but I think a lot of people don't understand and maybe don't get it. But I think just truly listening to what they want and trying to understand them and how they use the boat or how their family uses the boat, and take all those outside factors and kind of combine them into a yacht and what might be a good platform for them.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So we said at the beginning, we're here to celebrate the Burgess 50th anniversary. You're in many ways at the beginning of that story, but what does it mean for you, the fact that Burgess has reached its 50th year?
I think it's very impressive and it's exciting to be a part of it during this time because, like I keep saying, having these senior brokers and senior staff as kind of mentors, they're all first generation. They've been here since the beginning of the company. And so you're learning from the people who built this company to where it is. And it's just nice to know that. And it's exciting for me and some of the younger guys to see if we keep following this path and keep working towards this, we can see exactly where we may end up with the senior brokers that we work with now. And it's very inspiring to be able to do that and see what the future holds.
As a younger broker, or in your previous roles as well, did you have the opportunity to work with, like, going out to meetings and things like that? Does that happen? Or
Yeah, absolutely.
you tell me a little bit about that?
Yep. And I think the big thing is a lot of these broker take mentor relationships with you. And so they will bring you along to meetings and they try to give you, I think they see the younger generation as being the future of Burgess because, like I said, they're first generation, their careers may be coming to an end in the next 10, 15, 20 years. So they're really investing in the younger guys, which is nice. And then with that being said, they will bring you to a lot of meetings, introduce you to people, bring you on listings as well. So it's a lot of experience that you have, but you're still kind of under their wing, which gives you the confidence and just the experience. It comes down to is experience and learning things yourself.
Yeah. Any favorite Burgess moments in the first 5 years?
Favorite Burgess. There's a lot of them, to be honest. I honestly feel like every work trip, whether it's a boat show or we've done a brokerage conference in Amsterdam, it's it's not work. It's fun. Like we do a lot of work, but you leave and you had so much fun and you feel like you got closer to people, and sometimes it's hard to talk about how tired you are to people outside of the industry because they see you traveling, having fun all over the world. Um, but yeah, my favorite memories of Burgess are on these work trips, whether it's a boat show, a conference, or the Happiness Factory. Yeah, just spending time with people that you work with all the time and being able to get to know them on a personal level.